Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Glow and Glam with Tina. My name is Tina. Christina to be precise, but Tina is what my friends and family call me. This is going to be my first video because part of my 2025 resolution was to start a YouTube channel where we can just share some tips and tricks when it comes to makeup and skincare. As somebody who's using makeup their whole life and it's very much involved in everything makeup and skincare, I do believe that I have a lot to share with you, and I love reviewing makeup in general, so this kind of seemed to be the natural course for me to take. The reason why I haven't done this before is because my whole life I had a panic fear from cameras, but like I said, part of a 2025 resolution was to try to defeat this. So here we are. For today's video, I was thinking we can do just a simple everyday makeup look. It's not going to be anything heavy. It's not going to be any crazy looks. I was just thinking we can do something that you can wear every day, where you can just pop in and go to work, go to school, where it's not going to be a lot of makeup involved, just something that will make you look fresh. With the upcoming spring and summer, we tend to turn more from heavy makeup to lighter makeup, so I think this video is something that we can use to just welcome spring into our lives. So let's go. So the first thing I like to do when I start my makeup, I like to prime my lids. I'm type of the person who's gonna always do their eyeshadow first, and then I'm gonna do the rest of my face. It's because sometimes, depending on eyeshadow, you can have a lot of fallout, and then if you do already all your like foundations, concealers and bronzers, then you need to clean it up and it can disturb the perfect base you already achieved. So what I like to do is first the eyeshadow and then the base. I like to prime my eyelids with a concealer, and usually I would use NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum to prime my eyelids. I tried using a lot of eyeshadow primers, but not a lot of them worked for me, so I just kind of always turn to a concealer for that. So I'm going to use NYX, like I said, NYX Bear With Me, and I will be putting a very little on my eyelids. You do not need a lot, to be honest. You just need like this, a very small amount, like this, and then just put that into your eyelids. Then what I like to do, I would take a beauty blender and just blend that in. I kind of find it to prep my eyes in the best way possible. It does cancel all the redness, all the discoloration, and it helps the eyeshadow just to sit well. And there we go, eyelids prepped. I'm somebody who had a crazy luck that I never actually overplucked my eyebrows, so these are my eyebrows. I don't have this need to, draw a lot of hairs or anything, because this is how they were while I was a kid and this is how they are now when I'm adult, so there's not a lot of changes. So what I usually do, I just like to put a little bit like brow gel, and just to give them a little bit more definition and a little bit color. So I'm using a NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. This is excellent if you don't want like a crazy volume or anything like that. You just want to kind of give your eyebrows that a little extra. This is gonna do really well. Obviously, I'm gonna link all the products that I use in a description box so you can find it easily. So how is everybody doing? Is everybody like, ready for spring and upcoming summer? I know I am. Like, I love winter. I don't mind winter. I'm not one of those people, but I do like spring and summer too. So I'm very excited to not to wear a coat and puffy jackets all the time. Okay, eyebrows are done, and I forgot the most important part, my hairband. You know when you watch videos of people who are able to do their full face of makeup without having to, get the hair out of their face? I'm not that, but I do admire that, so that's it. Now, before I'm gonna start doing my eyes, I am going through some changes, like hormonal changes, and I am breaking out quite a bit. That's a new thing for me because I spent my whole puberty and my early adulthood without actually having any pimples. So right now I'm kind of like really, I don't know if you can see it. I'm struggling quite a bit of breakout. So before I do that, I'm gonna spot conceal a little bit. I find this Hourglass concealer to do pretty well when it comes to like pimples, I would just put them and leave it like that so it can dry up a little bit while I do rest of my makeup. This is the Hourglass Airbrush Vanish Concealer. So I was lucky because I bought so many concealers that I really didn't like. So when this went viral and everybody was using it like crazy, and I wanted to get it, but I've seen that they have a small size. So I got myself a small size. And I actually am very happy that I did, because this was a disappointment for me. So I tried using this to brighten under my eyes and conceal, and this just didn't work. Like, no matter how much I would put or how little I would put, it would crease like crazy. It would add 15 years in my under eye area, and it was just not good. So I have it now. I'm not gonna throw it away, obviously. I'm gonna use it especially when I have a situation like this, but pretty much that's gonna be the last time I bought this. I will not be repurchasing this. For my eyes, I'm gonna be using Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette. I kind of started to like a lot like the little quads. I used to be like a person that would like buy a whole palette, like 16 shades, but recently I kind of discovered that I'm drawn more to the quads, and I just find, I reach more for them, because in all that like 16 shades and everything, I will end up using like 4 or 5 shades. But with this, I have everything I need. So especially like for day-to-day look, like nothing too heavy. This is how the palette looks. It is quite stunning. I really like it. And you can see it's been loved. So for today, we're just going to use 4 brushes, and this is how they're going to look. So I will use this brush, like this is the brush I'm going to be using for today. And I'm going to be dipping into, well, this shade. The thing is with this palette, it tells you have prime, enhance, pop, smoke, and pop. I'm going to be using the shade Prep. What is like the first shade right there. And what we're going to do, we're going to put that all over our lid, upper lid. And then I would use the big fluffy brush just to help me to, blend it in and spread it equally. I like using the big fluffy brushes for this. I think that's the whole point of them. So it does really help to set the tone for the look. And then now I'm going to use this shade to enhance. So I'm going to dip this brush, and I'm going to use quite a bit actually. And yeah, actually I can use this mirror. I think it's fine. And I'm going to, by the way, put that just slightly, like exactly where my eye naturally creases. I do have a hooded eyes, so it's going to be slightly different. My crease is a little bit like lower, and the hood is covering pretty big part of my eyes. Especially if you have hooded eyes, I was so frustrated so many times. I would be like following the tutorials. I'm like, why doesn't look like that on me? And then I just figure out it's my eye shape. What to do. I really like how this eyeshadow blends. It really blends beautifully. Like, you don't have to put a lot of effort, and that's what I like, especially like when you are getting ready for work or you're rushing and you don't have like a lot of time to do your makeup. Something like this really is excellent. Okay, with that being done, so as you can see, we kind of enhanced it a little bit. Now I'm going to use the same brush actually, and I'm going to pop it into a smoke, which is this kind of like a brownish shade. And I'm going to put that on the lower part of my lids, inner corner, and we're just going to give them a little bit of a smoke. Again, really blends beautifully. It's not crazy pigmented. It allows you to control the pigmentation, which I really like. And the good thing about this eyeshadow palette, what I've noticed, it really, unlike other eyeshadow palettes that I have, like not all of them, but some of them, there's like a crazy fallout, and then you need to like clean up everything. So that's why I developed the habit to do my eyes first, which again, I'm quite happy. I'm going to use a flat brush on that and just add like a little bit, and Just a little bit of glitter, not much, because like I said, this is like an everyday look and you really don't want to go overboard. And there we go. For the next step, I'm gonna be using the Lash Paradise Primer to prime my eyelashes. I really like this one, and I genuinely always use the eyelash primers on my eyelashes because I kind of find it to prep my eyelashes for the mascara. It really does help your mascara, whatever mascara you're using, to perform a little bit better. I don't know, I kind of like it, and I can't see myself using mascara without it ever again. So the next step is going to be Lancome mascara. This is, okay, I'm going to link this below in the description box because I genuinely don't want to butcher this name. Okay, for my next step, I'm going to be using NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. So if you ever follow any YouTube influencer, TikTok influencers, you know this is favorite to so many, and there's a reason why this is favorite to so many people. I personally really love this foundation. It's kind of like medium coverage, but you can build it up to a full coverage. It feels amazing on the skin, it lasts all day, and it's just one of those foundations that works with any kind of skin prep. You don't have to tailor your skin prep towards your foundation, and this gives you beautiful natural finish, like a little bit glowy. But even if you have a oily skin with a better skincare prep, I believe you can pull this off. This is just like a really, really great foundation. The only downside with this foundation, like the shades tend to be a bit warmer, which I don't like. I'm kind of like pulling to cool neutral, I believe, and I'm really struggling to find my shade. I got this when I was in New York in Sephora, and I had to change twice because every single time I was matching a store, I would get home and it would just like be not a good shade for me. And then, third time I was kind of a little bit embarrassed to go back again, so I was like, you know what, I'll just gonna make it work, and that's absolutely fine. The good thing is I was able to exchange it while I was in US, because here in UK, once you open your makeup, you can't exchange it. There's nothing you can do. You're just stuck with the wrong shade. So yeah, for my skin prep, by the way, I don't use primers. I'm not a huge fan of primers. I do have some which I will use occasionally, but usually I always wear a sunscreen under my makeup, under my foundation, and that's it. That's my primer. Like, I will never compromise on my SPF. So SPF and then this. You're gonna shake it, and then you're gonna, usually 2 pumps is perfectly fine, as you can see. And I will take the brush, and then I'll just start blending it in my skin. I think I could go like 1 shade lighter, to be honest with this, but this is great for a summertime when I am a little bit tanned. There's not a lot of like changes in my, in my skin tone because I use SPF constantly, so it's not like I'm gonna go super dark, but there's like 1 or 2 shades difference, so this is great for those, for summer times. And honestly, I use it in the winter as well. I don't care. And by the way, my skin is very, very reactive. I don't know if you can notice. We're just like sitting here doing makeup, and then I'm just getting like random red patches. So on my face, just for the references, I do have rosacea. So yeah, red most of the time, and just sudden patches, red patches everywhere. So not fun. And here we are. The thing is, again, when I want a really light coverage, I'm gonna be using like either light serum concealer consistency, either I'll be using this. This is such a beautiful product. I don't think it gets a lot of hype, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it, to be honest. So it has like a pinky, this is a shade Light Rose. It does come in 4 shades, which I do believe they can like extend the shade range, because having a 4 shades is kind of atrocious. But the thing is, this is just like a brightener. This is not a concealer. This is not something for you to, conceal anything. This is just to brighten. And it's kind of like, I don't know how I can explain it. I'm just going to put it on and you can have a look. You can see it. Like, I would put this much, right? And then it would just like, I would use my finger, obviously. I'm just going to blend it in like that. And there we go. Like, your under eyes, they look beautifully brightened. And that's how you want them. You want healthy looking under eyes. looks fabulous. I like this. I like this. You know, sunny days in the summertime, I would be using this. I will not be using concealer unless if I'm, you know, doing like a fuller glam. I'm going out for like a dinner or something, for like getting ready for work and, you know, just running errands during the daytime. This will do just great. So yeah. When I'm gonna be using like a makeup like this, like lighter makeup, nothing too much, nothing crazy, I would use this palette. So this is Hourglass. This is Dim Light. It's an ambient palette, and I absolutely love this. I would just use these two shades. Sometimes I would mix them just to bronze up a little bit, and yeah, I would use this one just to set my face on certain areas when I kind of want that, you know, glow. I'm gonna use this brush and I'm gonna be dipping into this shade, which is kind of slightly a little bit warm for me, but then I'm gonna tone it down with this one, and that's gonna give me like a crazy lovely, you know, finish. It's combination. Like, you get to play with me. You need to learn how to play with your makeup. Like, if you don't play with your makeup, it's no fun. And there we go. Again, we don't want anything too crazy. We don't want any crazy pigmentation. We just want to go with a healthy, glowing looking skin. Really like this one. For my blush, I'm going to be using Patrick Ta, and it's going to be the shade She's That Girl. You have powder formula and you have a cream formula. So what they like to do, they're like, oh, you go with the powder first, and, you know, then you go with the cream. You do you, whatever is better for you. Like, I don't like to do that, especially when I'm going for like a little bit mellow look, like nothing too crazy, because I don't like too much blush on my cheeks. You know, I like it to look natural, simple as that. So this, add like this, tap just a little bit, tap off the excess, and then just, you know, work it into your skin just a little bit. And there we go. Healthy and blushed. So to set my face, I'm going to be using two techniques. So I'm going to be taking this, which is kind of like a setting powder highlight, I guess. I'm going to be using this puff. This is like a blend and snatch, and you can find it on Amazon. I think it's like £4, I think, something like that. I'm going to be putting it slightly on my cheeks. This is a great technique if you go overboard with your blush and you just kind of want to tone it down. So take your, you know, setting powder and just, you know, dab it all over your blush, and it's going to fix the whole problem, right? And then I'm going to be using a Huda Beauty. This is an excellent setting powder. My favorite was Givenchy Prisma Libre. So I'm going to be using this, but I'm going to be using this very, very lightly because I just want to set my face very slightly. So I'm going to be taking this brush. I'm going to be tapping a little bit on the powder, and I'm going to be taking the excess here, and then there we go. Just controlling the shine a little bit, very little. And that's my face set. For my lips, I do like, when I have a look like this, I like to go with something a little bit on the nude side. Again, the whole point is to just keep it neutral. I really like this Clinique. So this is Clinique, oh god, Even Better Pop lipstick. And this is the shade 04 Subtle. And as you can see, it's been very lovely. Like, that's it. There's nothing else coming out. I really like this, and I use this on an everyday basis. So and the whole face is done. So I'm going to be linking all the products in the description box. I hope you liked the video. If you liked any of those products or you don't like them, just please do let me know in the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!